David Muir, ABC's World News Tonight, America's most watched newscast. Now streaming same day with all the breaking news of the day on Disney Plus. Most watched, most trusted. Now on Disney Plus every night.
Tonight, the breaking news coming in right now. The U.S. launching a massive strike on ISIS targets in Syria. The U.S. launching this major retaliatory military operation tonight after the deadly ambush killing 2 American soldiers and their U.S. interpreter. The news coming in now. Mary Bruce live at the White House. Also, this storm hitting now just as millions travel for the holiday week ahead. Blinding rain, winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour or more, down power lines, setting multiple cars on fire. We'll time out the storm right here. Tonight, just in, the Jeffrey Epstein case, the Justice Department now releasing hundreds of thousands of documents in the Epstein case, including never-before-seen photos. So what's been released so far and what we're seeing already? Tonight, the dramatic end of the manhunt. Authorities say the Brown University shooter found in a storage facility dead. They say he also killed that MIT professor and how they linked it all together. And the online tip that broke this case wide open. Tonight, the plane crash that killed a NASCAR legend and his family. And tonight, we now learn his wife and her final text from on board that plane to her mother right before the crash. Tonight, there are chilling images coming in from overseas showing a man armed with a knife and smoke grenades attacking crowds. Multiple people have been killed. Authorities say the suspect then jumping to his death. Tonight, the new name on the outside of the Kennedy Center. Now, the Trump Kennedy Center, 24 hours after the president's hand-picked board of trustees changed the name. And our Made in America Christmas tonight, less than a week to go, and these are great last-minute finds. From chocolate pizzas to the local ranchers and their handmade blankets to keep you warm this Christmas, to cast iron skillets. They say they can still get them to you in time. Now we're cooking. Made in America.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. We begin tonight here with the breaking news. This powerful storm in the east, dangerous winds, several vehicles set on fire by downed power lines. Also, the Jeffrey Epstein files released, what's in them so far. But we do begin tonight with the U.S. launching this massive military strike against dozens of ISIS targets in central Syria. Retaliation for the deadly ambush that killed 2 American soldiers and their U.S. interpreter. Tonight, U.S. Central Command says American forces are actively executing a large-scale strike against weapons and ISIS infrastructure. A U.S. official telling ABC News the strike involves fighter jets, attack helicopters, artillery, and dozens of targets. This all comes after that attack last Saturday. Sergeant William Howard and Sergeant Edgar Torres Tovar, both of Iowa, and their U.S. interpreter killed by a lone ISIS gunman. They were the first U.S. combat deaths in Syria since 2019 and since the fall of President Bashar al-Assad. President Trump attending their dignified transfer just this week. Tonight, this massive U.S. military response now underway. Mary Bruce leading us off from the White House.
Tonight, the video just coming in of the massive U.S. attack on dozens of ISIS targets across central Syria. Retaliation for last Saturday's ISIS ambush that left 3 Americans dead, 2 U.S. service members and their civilian interpreter. U.S. fighter jets and attack helicopters unleashing airstrikes, missiles and artillery hitting ISIS weapons facilities and infrastructure, according to a U.S. official. At least 70 targets hit. President Trump tonight saying the United States is inflicting very serious retaliation, just as I promised, on the murderous terrorists responsible, adding all terrorists who are evil enough to attack Americans are hereby warned. You will be hit harder than you have ever been hit before if you in any way attack or threaten the USA. Tonight, the Pentagon calling it Operation Hawkeye Strike in honor of those 2 Iowa National Guard soldiers killed in that ISIS ambush, along with 1 U.S. civilian interpreter. Secretary Pete Hegseth announcing the assault on social media, saying this is not the beginning of a war, it is a declaration of vengeance. The retaliatory strikes coming after officials say a lone ISIS gunman killed the 3 Americans and wounded 3 others while they were on patrol in Palmyra, Syria, supporting counterterrorism operations against the Islamic State. They were the first U.S. combat deaths in Syria since 2019. It was just 2 days ago that their remains were flown back home to the U.S., the president there with their families for the dignified transfer at Dover Air Force Base. And tonight, the White House says the president is now delivering on his promise to avenge their deaths. So again, David, this is a major ongoing military operation. We're told many targets have been hit, that the scope of this is significant. The big question now tonight, how will ISIS respond? David.
Mary Bruce leading us off with the breaking news tonight. Mary, thank you. Also developing at this hour, the Jeffrey Epstein case. The Justice Department now releasing hundreds of thousands of documents in the Epstein case, including never-before-seen photos because of this deadline. What we're seeing so far, and this evening why the Justice Department says it still needs more time. Here's our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas, now.
Tonight, after months of delays, the Justice Department has begun releasing hundreds of thousands of documents from its investigation into sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. It came after Congress forced their hand, passing a law requiring DOJ to release the full FBI files by the end of the day. But that won't happen. What's being released now, sources tell us, is less than half of the files. In this initial release, never-before-seen records from the investigation and thousands of photographs, some graphic and heavily redacted. But without context about what any of this means. The big question, will the files reveal a list of powerful men who took part in Epstein's sexual abuse of teenage girls? The FBI insisted there was no list, that there was no evidence that could lead them to charge anyone else with crimes. President Trump had a long friendship with Epstein, White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles describing them as sort of young single playboys together. Trump says he and Epstein eventually had a falling out.
I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. I threw him out of my club many years ago because I thought he was a sick pervert.
The White House Chief of Staff says Trump's name comes up in the files, but not doing anything awful. I sat down with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, who was also the president's criminal defense attorney.
Well, every document that mentions President Trump, every picture of him, every video, every bit of information related to him in these files be released today or at some point in this process.
Assuming it's consistent with the law, yes. So there's no effort to hold anything back because there's the name Donald J. Trump.
Trump has tried to turn the focus to Epstein's relationships with Democrats like former President Clinton. Today's release includes some never-before-seen images of Clinton and Epstein together. This picture of Clinton in a jacuzzi, and this one of him swimming with Epstein's accomplice, convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell. But Clinton has not been accused of wrongdoing. In fact, the White House Chief of Staff told Vanity Fair there's no incriminating information about Clinton in the files, saying Trump was wrong about that.
David, we should note that DOJ is deciding what to release and when to release it. What we're seeing tonight is just part of the Epstein files, with additional batches of documents expected to be released in the coming days and weeks. David?
All right, Pierre Thomas on this breaking story on a Friday night. Pierre, thank you. We turn to the powerful storm hitting at this hour, just as millions, of course, travel for the holiday week ahead. Blinding rain, winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour or more. There are wind alerts right now from Washington, D.C. up to Philadelphia, New York, right up through Boston. Down power lines, setting multiple cars on fire. Thousands of flights have been delayed. We have the forecast for you, and here's Whit Johnson.
Tonight, powerful storms coast to coast, bringing treacherous conditions to millions as the holiday travel rush kicks off. In Philadelphia, up to 1.5 inches of rain quickly flooding roadways. The Schuylkill Expressway turning into a river, crews racing to clear storm drains. Outside Boston, trees down and wires sparking in Wrentham. On New York's Long Island, multiple vehicles engulfed in flames sparked by a fallen power line. The same system brought an all-out blizzard to parts of the Midwest. Blowing snow and ice forcing a ground stop at the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport for hours. Crews working to de-ice planes on the frozen tarmac. In Boulder County, Colorado, deputies urging people to stay home. The National Weather Service warning of wind gusts up to 100 miles an hour. And storms continue to plague the Pacific Northwest. Outside Portland, multiple people trapped in this pickup were pulled to safety by swift water teams this morning.
And so far, there have been about 600 flight cancellations and more than 8,000 delays nationwide. And tonight, the weather causing even more ground stops, including one right here at LaGuardia Airport. David?
All right, let's just hope everyone gets to where they're going safely, and we sure do appreciate it. Thanks. Let's get right to WABC meteorologist Brittany Bell back with us tonight. Hi, Brittany.
Hi, David. And these strong, damaging winds will continue all evening long, still gusting up to 40 to 50 miles per hour in spots like New York City. And this is also pushing in freezing temperatures, overnight lows dipping down in the teens and the 20s around the Northeast. So black ice also a concern for travel early Saturday morning. Out west, that next system also windy, but this one is enhancing wildfire danger. There's a red flag warning for spots like Colorado, and for the Pacific Northwest, flood watches continue, including now out for spots of North and Central California. This next system will bring up to 4 to 6 inches of rainfall with some isolated heavier amounts through Sunday. David?
Brittany Bell with us from WABC. Britt, thank you. Now to the dramatic end to that days-long manhunt this week after the mass shooting at Brown University. Authorities say they found the shooter dead in a storage facility in New Hampshire and that he killed himself days ago. They say he also killed that MIT professor outside Boston. And tonight here, how they think they have linked this all together and the online tip that broke the case wide open. Here's our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Kotursky, tonight.
Tonight, a clear picture of the terror stalking New England and the violence authorities feared could have come had the suspect who opened fire at Brown University and then murdered an MIT professor of nuclear science not died by suicide.
He could have absolutely had plans to inflict more harm.
Authorities said Claudio Neves Valente of Portugal shot himself in a storage unit in New Hampshire on Tuesday and was found late Thursday night. The dramatic end to a multi-state days-long manhunt followed a tip first posted online about a suspicious car lurking near Brown.
He blew this case right open.
The tip said, "I'm being dead serious. The police need to look into a gray Nissan with Florida plates, possibly a rental." That was the car he was driving. The tipster coming forward telling investigators he saw the shooter in a campus bathroom before the rampage and thought he seemed suspicious. Today, the FBI releasing this video showing the tipster confronting the suspect. "Your car is back there. Why are you circling the block?" The suspect responding, "I don't know you from nobody," and "Why are you harassing me?" before running away. Investigators said that information led to this blue-gray Nissan Sentra. Authorities said Neves Valente rented that car in Boston December 1st. Cameras spotting the same vehicle near Brown over the next 2 weeks. Investigators then tracked that car to Brookline, Massachusetts, where MIT professor Nuno Lalero was shot and killed in cold blood. Investigators said they recovered 2 9mm Glock firearms, ammunition, body armor, and several thumb drives.
Investigators are going through those drives right now, David, to see if they contain any clues about the motive for either the attack at Brown or the one right here against the professor in Brookline, Massachusetts. David?
Yeah, the motive, the big question still remaining tonight. Aaron, thank you, from Brookline, Massachusetts. Tonight to the plane crash now that killed a NASCAR legend and his family. We're now learning tonight about his wife and her final text from on board that plane to her mother just before the crash. We've also learned the NTSB has now recovered the cockpit voice recorder. Again tonight, Victor Akendo.
Tonight, harrowing new details about the moments leading up to that horrific plane crash in North Carolina that killed 7, including NASCAR star Greg Biffle, his wife Christina, and 2 children. Christina's mother confirming to ABC News the group was flying out for a birthday trip and that her daughter sent her a final text in the minutes before the crash telling People magazine the message read, "We're in trouble."
Aircraft emergency. Aircraft is down. Unknown subjects. Runway 28.
Moments later, the Cessna aircraft crashing short of the runway at Statesville Regional Airport. Officials say it was in the air for only 10 minutes and that the pilot was attempting to return to the airport amid rain and reduced visibility. The NTSB now processing the crash site as part of their investigation.
We look at the people operating the aircraft, we look at the aircraft itself, and then we look at the environment, and the weather is one of those we look at and will look at very closely.
David, officials have recovered the cockpit voice recorder from the jet and have sent it for data extraction. David?
Victor Akendo. Victor, thank you. Tonight, President Trump revealing a new agreement with 9 drug makers aimed at lowering the cost of prescription drugs. The president says U.S. drug prices are higher than those in other wealthy countries where government-run health systems negotiate discounts. The companies agreeing to sell their drugs to Medicaid and directly to consumers now at discounted prices. When we come back tonight, the horrific attack. There are chilling images coming in showing a man armed with a knife and smoke grenades attacking crowds. Multiple people have been killed. Authorities say the suspect then jumping to his death, and we'll have more in just a moment here. Also tonight, the new name on the outside of the Kennedy Center tonight, now the Trump Kennedy Center, 24 hours after the president's handpicked board of trustees changed the name. And our great Made in America Christmas, less than a week to go. We've been all over the country this December, and tonight, last-minute ideas in time. From chocolate pizzas To local ranchers and their handmade blankets to keep you warm this Christmas, to cast iron skillets. They say they can still get them under your tree in time. You'll want to see this in just a moment. Tonight we are learning of a horrific knife attack unfolding in Taiwan. Chilling video showing the suspect hurling smoke bombs into a crowd, grabbing a knife and violently slashing people in Taipei. We are told there are at least 3 dead tonight, many more injured. The suspect then running into a store, crowds of shoppers running for safety. The mayor tonight says he then jumped from a building, that suspect, to his death. When we come back on the broadcast tonight, what it now says outside the famed Kennedy Center, the new name is up tonight and you'll see it. And you'll remember the story, the $1.6 million reward now tonight for a man who deserves it. To the index of other news, the outside of the Kennedy Center changed tonight. Now the Trump Kennedy Center. The name is now up 24 hours after President Trump's hand-picked board of trustees voted to rename the center, which was built as a memorial after the JFK assassination. Critics contend tonight congressional approval is still needed to officially make that name change. Tonight, the reward for the man hailed a hero in the deadly attack at Australia's Bondi Beach. An emotional moment as Ahmed Al-Ahmed received a $1.6 million check right there at his hospital bed, still recovering from gunshot wounds himself. The money was donated by people all over the world who saw that video of the Syrian man tackling one of those alleged shooters on the first night of Hanukkah. When we come back here tonight, our Made in America Christmas, less than a week to go. These are great last-minute finds from viewers at home. From chocolate pizzas to the local ranchers and their blankets to the cast iron skillets that'll have you cooking in time for Christmas. Finally tonight here, our great Made in America Christmas. So many of you at home with your one thing. Tonight, less than a week until Christmas, but there's still time.
I think we found it.
Our 14th year celebrating small businesses.
Made in America!
Hi, David.
World News Tonight viewer Tom Andino with his idea.
I'm here to highlight these wonderful chocolate peanut butter wings from the Chocolate Pizza Company, made in Marcellus, New York, right here in upstate, right in your own backyard. They're potato chips smothered in peanut butter and then coated in milk or dark chocolate. Makes a great stocking stuffer.
In Marcellus, New York, outside Syracuse, the Chocolate Pizza Company. 20 workers making 100,000 peanut butter wings and 60,000 chocolate pizzas this year.
Hi, David.
Owner Ryan Novak filling orders for Christmas.
This week alone will ship to over 10,000 locations as far away as New Zealand.
The potato chips from Texas.
A potato chip with peanut butter dipped in chocolate. Absolutely unreal. The salty, sweet taste of the peanut butter wings is unrivaled.
The chocolate pizzas all wrapped up. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and this one with those 3 words, Made in America.
Made in America!
In Rusk, Texas tonight, south of Dallas.
Hi, David.
The Reed family and their company, Harold's Pickles. Dad Jared.
This is Jordy, this is Henson, and this is Houston, and this is Katie.
Their 6-sampler pickle set. 10 workers, 3,000 jars a month.
1 jar, it means a little bit more to our family. This is the Francis Cowley. It's named after my grandmother, Frances Cowley.
Grandma Francis's original secret recipe.
It was always on the table, and especially around the holidays, it was passed out to family and friends.
They're getting the next generation ready too.
Made in America.
In New Mexico tonight, our viewer Ned Parrish sending us this photo. Right under his lamp, something from Tierra Wolves.
I'm Lara. Welcome to Tierra Wolves out in Chama, New Mexico.
Hi, David.
35 workers. The wool from local ranchers. The blankets, pillows, rugs, hand-dyed wool yarn to make your own.
This was dyed with indigo.
The color from local plants.
The indigo.
Artist Tony Bradis.
This is the tops from the curly dock, cañagre. The reddish-brown roots will give me a reddish-brown yarn. Thank you for being here.
In Apache Junction, Arizona.
Hey, David.
Nate Walker and his company, Lost Dutchman Leather. Hand-stitching wallets, belts, watch straps.
Making everything by hand right here in our shop in Arizona.
Tonight, their new hires, Alex with a thumbs up, Samuel making the wallets.
Hi, David.
Calder on the line.
I'm currently stitching one of our watch straps.
400 products a week.
Made in America!
And in Charleston, South Carolina tonight, Smithy Ironware Company cast iron skillets.
Hi, David.
Founder Isaac Morton.
Come on in.
More than 70 workers, and they're hiring.
What could be more American than cast iron cookware?
Tens of thousands of pieces a year.
Love all the orders, love all the American spirit this holiday.
They're cast iron skillets, and they can still rush them wrapped for under your tree. Now we're cooking.
Made in America!
We have just loved this. So many homegrown ideas this year from all of you at home. We love Made in America. I'm David Muir from all of us here at ABC News. Good night.
ABC's David Muir, the most watched newscast in America. More Americans watch World News Tonight with David Muir than any other newscast.